Oh, my amigos, welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of, you guessed it, the show with no name exclusively on Vaughn Radio, where English is exciting and interactive. And that's because of you guys. So I hope you are ready because we've got to get into our rocket ship, nuestra nave espacial. Everybody, hold on to your hats because it's time for liftoff.
T-minus
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Come on.
3,
Do it with me.
2,
1.
0.
Okay, guys.
Ignition.
Here we go.
Liftoff.
Buckle up.
After
Oh man, those G-forces.
Get ready.
Yes.
Hold on to your hat. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hat. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time on Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name. It's the show. Let's go.
That's right, amigos. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. It's time for another exciting edition of the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. It's exciting, it's eclectic, it's interactive, it's whatever you want it to be. That's right. That's why I didn't give the show a name. Why do we have to categorize every single thing? This is an English show. It's an English class. It's a YouTube stream. It's a radio show. It's a podcast. Why give it a name? It's the show with no name. It hasn't had a name in 14 years, and we're not going to give it one now. Yeah, because a lot of people say, I love the show with no name, but you're really saying the show with no name because it's not the official name. It's just, I don't know if you guys know the way that story started. When I was first approached to work on the radio, a trabajar en la radio, I was approached, se me acercó, no? They came up to me and said, listen, we want you to work on Vaughn Radio. And I said, oh, okay, well, that's cool. Let's figure it out. Let's get it done. I think I've got some ideas. And well, I had this idea for a show, a variety show. And I based it on the same kind of teaching I would do in my classes, which is, interactive, get the students up, make them speak, role playing, games, challenges, using pop culture, music, movies. These are all things that I did when I was at ING Direct, ING Direct. A shout out to all my students at ING Direct. Oh, man. So many amazing memories there. So many amazing memories, even at Blockbuster. Do you guys remember Blockbuster? One of my first teaching jobs with Vaughn was teaching at Blockbuster. So getting back to what I was saying, once I started doing the radio, I was like, well, what would be a good name for this show? And I couldn't think of one. So I thought, well, what better way to involve the students than to get them to name the show for me? And a lot of people came up with a lot of amazing names. In fact, I don't know if we have that show anymore, but it should be available. And I went over all these amazing names. I can't remember them now, obviously. That was 14 plus years ago. But I will tell you something. It stuck. The show with no name stuck. It worked. People got it and they understood it. And in the end, even a few people who wrote in, que nos escribieron, they said to us, I don't think it needs a name. Just call it the show with no name. And I thought, well, hey, that's cool. That'll work. And so the show never got a name because I think even after hearing amazing names, I think we just settled on, nos quedamos con the show with no name. So what does that mean? That means it is what you want it to be, amigos. And I know what it is to me. I know it's a challenging, fun, interactive English show. We've got a lot of challenges up ahead for you guys, but also remember, we've got another exciting challenge, and this is in person. It's our Vaughn Radio Trivia Nights, and it's coming up. It's right around the corner. It's November 30th at Roll Madrid, which is Calle Manuel 23.
In a world where everybody knows the answers, only 3 people have the questions. Only 3 people.
You're right there, Rob.
I'm all right. Hey, guys, it's Vaughn Trivia Night. Bah, 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 bah.
Woo!
30th of November, it's the lunchtime cruise turn at the Trivia Night. And that's me, the Natch, Andy.
Yes, indeed. You're going to see all 3 of us at Roll Madrid in Calle Amaniel number 23. Calle Amaniel number 23, 8:30, November 30th. See you there.
That's right, folks. That's right. Vaughn Radio Trivia Nights, November 30th. Mark your calendar. It's going to be tons of fun, and it's free. Remember, the best way to make sure you're keeping up with all our events, special offers, new resources that we've released is by following us on social media. And that's also a way that we can make sure you guys are doing well on our pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, amigos. It's the pop quiz only on the show with no name. And this is where I take some little lesson that we've gotten from social media. So it's either something that Vaughn has posted, which is the case today, something that one of my co-workers has posted, or something that I have posted. So first things first, follow us. And part 2, make sure you're getting all this content that we're posting for free on a daily basis, a diario. I don't know about you guys, but I think that's magical. Hey, I haven't used that sound effect in a long time. Let me use it. All right, this post comes from our amigos at Grupo Vaughan. Follow them on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all the rest. And this way you will get English content, little mini lessons every single day. I know myself, I've been posting on my social media these 30 seconds tops, maximo, 30 seconds. Most of them are like 15 to 20-second videos. And they're little videos that teach a pronunciation thing, like maybe something we've seen on here on homophones, or maybe they teach a false friend or something like that. So if you're not following us on social media, I've just got to say you are missing out. All right, well, you say something a lot in Spanish. You say, "Qué fuerte, chaval." All right, the chaval part I added myself, but you say that, "Qué fuerte." And this is like a way of saying, that you can't believe something, right? Is that, if I'm not mistaken? Well, Vaughn has given us 5 different ways to say, "Qué fuerte." And you could say, wow, that's heavy, but it sounds like you're stuck in like the 1980s or something. It's not, it wouldn't be used very commonly. If you used, "Oh man, that's heavy," it sounds a little bit dated, okay? Anticuado. So what I want you to do is tell me there are many ways. Vaughn gave us 5 different ways to say que fuerte, like no way. Well, guess what? I just gave you the first one, and I wasn't even trying. Believe me, it just slipped out there. I bet. I can't believe it. All right, so now you've got 4 different ways, and maybe you can come up with different ways on your own of saying, "Oh my goodness, did I just give you another one?" Possibly. All right, I'm going to shut my mouth right now, and we're going to go on over to our chat room and check out our amigos. What's up, folks? ¿Qué pasa, mi gente? We got Jay Lima checking in our virtual classroom, and he says, "Hey, Double A, nice to see and watch you." Yeah, you're seeing me because you can see my face, but you're also watching me because you're paying attention. Jay Lima already teaching us a little lesson. Oh, yeah. There's Vero saying, "Good morning, beautiful people." Good morning, Vero. Chocolate episode of FYI coming up soon, but you can devour the Elvis episode first if you like. We've got Marta in the house. Marta says, "Good morning, teacher and friends." What's up, Marta? Always a pleasure. ESD says, "Good morning, classmates and teacher. Let's have another great day, shall we?" All right. I think that's the right attitude. Marta says, "I love the lack of name of the show with no name." Yeah, who cares? Call it whatever you want. You want to call it, for example, what's the word I'm looking for? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. Call it that. I don't care. Whatever. Just enjoy it. Learn English with us and make friends, which I see a lot of you do that. I love the camaraderie among you guys. Esa compenetración, I think you might say. Camaraderie. It's a funny word. Camaraderie. Born to Iron Man says, "Morning, folks. Are you feeling elated?" Oh, yeah. Now that you're here? Of course we are, buddy. Great to see you. He says, "No doubt. We are all eager to have a ball." Oh, man. I see everybody is fired up. To be fired up. Con mucha energía, no? Think about an engine that's fired up. You're revved up. There's Laura. Laura says, "Good morning, beautiful show with no namers. Let's do this." Ooh, that's a totally native right there. Let's do this. And Laura, if I may add, let's do this like we never knew this. Hey, we love to rhyme, especially when there's a beat going in the background on time. All right, I'll stop. Salvador says, "Hey, Alberto." What's up, Salvador? How's it going? All right, amigos. Anybody know how to say que fuerte? Right? A way of expressing shock in English. Amazement, surprise. I already gave you one. No way. But remember, it's not just the words. It's the way you say the words. We know that, right? The inflection, the tone. So if you tell me some news that I think is unbelievable, I'll say, "No way." Now, that's not the same as saying, "Alberto, do you want to eat some spinach with cheese and onions?" And I'll say, "No way." Now, you see the difference there? Same words, totally different meaning. So practice them with me. "Hey, did you guys know I just won the lottery?" You would say, "No way." In amazement, remember, it's shock, it's surprise. That's got to come out in your voice. "No way." Right? You know me. I love to add Jose at the end. "No way, Jose." But again, if I say "no way," like, in a very kind of, assertive way, that means I'm saying ni de coña. So again, it's that amazement has to be in your voice. "No way." All right, another one. "Oh my God." Yeah, that's got its own acronym. I said one before. I said, "Oh my goodness." My daughter uses that one. She says, "Oh my goodness." Oh. The one I use is, no way. I also say, get out of here. Calla, get out of here. No, right? Que fuerte. Like, I don't believe what you're telling me. Get out of here. You want to add a little emphasis? Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious? My daughter says that one. That's another one. Are you serious? But remember, you got to do it like that. Like, get out. Because it's not like, are you serious? Like, now I'm very concerned. It's more like, are you serious? I'm in shock. You almost got to go up in your tone there. Let's see what you guys came up with. We've got Born to Iron Man. Holy Moses. Okay, hey, it works. Not very common. Moises. Holy Moses. Have you heard of the Tesla car crash in China? Today you're saying no. I don't know if you're using an example. No, I haven't. But holy Moses is something you would say if something like that happened. So, holy Moses. But it's a little bit, I've got to say, Iron Man, I love it, though. I love your creativity. Let's see. Nihad says, Jesus. Yeah, that's another one, too. Remember, some people get offended, my mother being one, by the way, when you take the Lord's name in vain. So saying Jesus, Christ, that kind of stuff. Hey, I personally don't, but some people do. So, that's where that, oh my goodness, comes from, right? That shock. Let's see. You're pulling my leg, says Salvador. You're pulling my leg. Me estás tomando. Yeah, sure. I'll take it. It's a great one. Okay, let's see. Laura says, no way, Josie. Bueno, Jose se escribe como Jose, but we just pronounce it Jose. So la Y te sobra. No way, Jose. Did he really say that? My goodness, precious me. Laura, you sound like a belle from the South. My goodness me. Let's see. Nihat, are you kidding me? It's unbelievable. That's my mom's. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Are you kidding me? Another way to say that is, are you shitting me? I'm serious. There's Jay Lima. Are you for real? Also, he says, you don't say. No me digas. Let's see. Born to Iron Man says, holy cow. Amazon is going to fire over 10,000 people. Holy cow. Another good one. Awesome. Oh, and that's funny too. Did you catch the irony there? I remember reading around 4:00 in the afternoon, Jeff Bezos is going to donate tons of money, a lot of money to charity because tax-free, right? Libre de impuestos. We all know the scam. Todos sabemos la jugada, right? But the funny thing is, you could see the media manipulation. So the guy says, I'm going to donate money. I'm a great guy. Look at me and my bald head and my Napoleon complex. Look at me as I go into space. But an hour later, they're going to lay off, despedir, en masa, to lay off 10,000 people. That's what I call no way. That is unbelievable. Well, it's believable, but man, are you for real? Jay Lima says. Are you kidding me? Holy cow. Then another one that nobody put here, and this is a great one. This one comes from, I love this one. It comes from Charlie Brown. I'd never used it, right? Good grief. I remember people using it, but it reminds me of Charlie Brown. Good grief. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be shitting me. So a lot of different ways to express this. And it reminds me of something my daughter and I this morning, as she was having breakfast and getting ready to go to school, we were watching Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. I love Scooby-Doo. Now my daughter does as well. And I was asking my wife, and she didn't know the answer. So this is perfect that we can talk about these. What? So this is another one. Now, this is one that nobody uses, but I told my wife this morning I'm going to adopt it. And I don't know what it was in Spanish, but the character Shaggy on Scooby-Doo. You guys know Shaggy, el melenudo. Shaggy means you're Shaggy, you need a haircut. I think of a shaggy dog, and it's the dog with the, that's got the hair coming down over its eyes. Those are shaggy dogs. Shaggy is also a rapper as well. But the original Shaggy is Shaggy and Scooby, right? From Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Now, in English, he said, zoinks, which is zoinks is like fear and surprise. So now I've got to say nobody uses zoinks because, well, it's from there. It came from there. I looked it up because I was curious. I'm like, let me see, because I'm going to start using this word. So now instead of saying, oh, shit, I'm going to say zoinks. Here's my question for you guys. What was his catchphrase? And this is a good word to know. A catchphrase es una frase que se repite vez tras vez. So if you think about Joey in Friends, his was, how you doing? You know, when people say, how you doing, Joey? And he'd be like, how you doing? He would always put the emphasis there. What was his catchphrase? I don't know. I guess I have to see if we have any Scooby-Doo fans in the house. But I'm going to start using it. I've decided to adopt zoinks. I imagine, let me see if I can guess what it was. I would say maybe it's recorcholis or repámpanos, or maybe something like that. I don't know. Either way, my amigos, we got a lot to do here on the show. So we are going to move on because you know how it works. We always get to the end of the show and we've got to really step on it. Lo tenemos que pisar fuerte. So I think we're going to move on to a section where we listen to a famous person speaking and you guys have to tell me what's being said. It's time for today's Say What? Say what? Zoinks. Oh, man. The funniest thing is hearing my daughter, hey, I would rather her say that than, oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Zoinks. And also, you got to say it like Shaggy. I don't know what Shaggy sounded like, but those were some of the greatest voice actors ever. And you know who did the voice? I don't know if you guys know American Top 40. There was a famous radio presenter, Casey Kasem, and he did the voice. And he was like zoinks, Scoob, we got to get out of here. Like, it was just amazing. And even now watching it, I'm like, this was fun. I mean, even though you knew that they were always going to catch that villain, que iban a pillar ese malo, ese villano. That's what they say at the end of the song. You're ready and you're willing. Estás listo y dispuesto. You're ready and you're willing. And then he goes, we know you'll catch that villain. My daughter is learning it by heart. And look at how much vocabulary she's learning. Oh, Salvador says zoinks is rayos y centellas. Are you serious? That's just not. Zoinks is great because it's just like, oh, shit. Like it's a quick sound. Zoinks. Right? But rayos y centellas. Whoa. I didn't expect that. You caught me off guard. Me pillaste desprevenido ahí. All right, guys, I've got to give you the Say What soundbite, and then we've got to take a quick commercial break. So here it is. I want you guys to write down what you hear. A little heads up. Un pequeño aviso. It's going to be a little bit tough today, but it's definitely doable. Here we go.
Seven's the key number here. Think about it.
Right.
Seven
11s? Yeah.
7 dwarfs. 7, man, that's the number. 7 chipmunks twirling on a branch, eating lots of sunflowers on my uncle's ranch. You know that old children's tale from the sea?
Oh my God, that is absolutely manic. But don't worry, you're going to hear that another 3 times on today's show, and you'll be able to at least give me some feedback on what you heard. But folks, right now we are going to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the second part of today's show with no name. So stick around. And action. The show with no name is sponsored by Kinepolis. Hey, welcome back, amigos. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name, exclusively on Vaughn Radio. And don't forget, if you can't catch us live, you can tune in wherever you listen to podcasts. That's iVox, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and so much more. And while you're at it, ya que estáis, follow For Your Inglés, my self-produced podcast. As you guys know, not only do you get an episode every Friday, but also I've been releasing bonus episodes like it's going out of style. Esta expresión significa a tutiplén. Yeah, that's right. So keep an eye out. If you're following, you'll see from time to time rock and roll bonus episode, Spain bonus episode. So, as time goes on, I make it available. So guys, remember, you have so much content out there to help you improve your English and have fun along the way. Y pasarlo bien por el camino. I think if we're not having fun, we are doing it wrong. All right, let's see. I got to give you guys today's Say What soundbite for the second time. Now, I am aware. Soy consciente. I am well aware. If we want to add emphasis, I'm well aware that this one is not going to be easy. But also, you are well aware that in the last couple shows, they haven't been too tough. So I've been going easy on you. No se está dando, os está dando. I can't say that. Mucha caña. I haven't been giving you guys a hard time there. I've been going easy on you in the Say What soundbite. But this one, on a scale of 1 to 10, we're going to give it an 8, right? I mean, it's fast. And he's trying to say a lot. And the person doesn't, in my opinion, the person doesn't sound like they're very stable. Right? Estable. Remember, that word in English doesn't have an E before it. It's not S, stable. It's stable. So that person doesn't sound very stable. Y ves lo que hago? Uno las palabras. Very stable. All right, well, let me give it to you again, and I'd love to hear your feedback and your observations. Please write down what you hear. This is the Say What soundbite for the second time.
Seven's the key number here. Think about it.
Right.
Seven 11s,
Yeah.
7 dwarfs. 7, man, that's the number. 7 chipmunks twirling on a branch, eating lots of sunflowers on my uncle's ranch. You know that old children's tale from the sea?
All right. There you go, folks. You're going to get that an additional 2 times. And while you guys are thinking it through, dándole unas vueltas, I'm going to give you some other things to chew on para reflexionar, right? Something to chew on is algo para reflexionar. And that is, folks, if you've ever thought about going to Vaughn Town, now is the time. Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughn Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughn Town. There you go, folks. All the information is there. It's up to you to decide if that's something that's right for you, because maybe not. Maybe you're like, you know what? I'm totally comfortable speaking. I understand all different accents. When I speak English, I'm just another member of the group. You know, people don't even know that I'm a foreigner. That's awesome. If you're not at that point, you can put yourself in that situation. It's recreating the real world in English in some of the most beautiful locations in Spain. As I always say, when I first started working for the company, even before I started working for the company, now that I think about it, we were located on Eduardo Dato Street. And I remember seeing just some pictures while I was waiting to be interviewed by Fitz, by the way. And I remember looking and seeing a very young Richard Vaughn, like 35, something like that. And him standing there and, you know, seeing his face and seeing this little village behind him and saying, Emprendedor americano empieza el primer pueblo solo en inglés, donde solo se habla inglés. And I'm like, that is freaking brilliant. And at that moment, even before I was hired, no me habían contratado. I wasn't even hired yet. But I knew that I wanted to work for this man because I saw that he was revolutionary and he had ideas. And the great thing is, Vaughn Town is still going strong after all these years. Now, Vaughn Town is not in your budget. We've got a million other things. Don't forget, too, if you're looking for Christmas presents, vaughntienda.com. And folks, that said, I think we need to take a look at some comments. We've got a lot of people who are starting to participate in our Say What soundbite, which, as I said, today, it's a bit challenging, but I think it's doable, just like everything I give you here on the show. Okay, some days, I know you're thinking, dude, that wasn't nice. Te portaste mal ahí. But also, when you guys are out there and you guys are the best students with the bar set the highest, no, el listón más alto de todos los alumnos, well, then I'll be proud to say those are my students over there. And you'll be proud when people say, how did you know that? You pronounced that beautifully. That'll make you proud. And when you're proud of the way you speak and how you communicate, obviously that makes your teacher proud. And all of that together is what we call magic. All right, let's take a look at some comments. There's my dad tuning in from the lovely south of Spain, from Almeria. What's up, Dad? Thanks for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you on board. Nihad says, in a nutshell, en resumidas cuentas, in a nutshell, I think it is a conversation between two people. One who is requesting the badge number and another spelling it in an ironic way, giving him the numbers as if it were a child counting. Well, it's not really what happened, but Nihad, great job. You put commas. Nihad. Thank you for letting me breathe. I appreciate it. Let's see. So in a nutshell, I think it is a conversation between two people. Okay, great. One who's requesting the badge number. This is some great vocabulary here. I think you say la placa, número de placa. We say badge number. And another spelling it in an ironic way, like B de Barcelona. I get what you mean. Okay. Giving him the numbers as if it were a child counting. So maybe what we could say to another way to say this great vocabulary here is maybe he's talking down to that person or condescending. Great vocabulary. Piénsalo, to talk down to somebody. You stupid little idiot. That's no, hablarle como si fuera más bajo que tú. So excellent job. Really great. Laura, speaking of excellent and excellence, she says, and by the way, I want to give Laura special applause. Who participates and comments on all my videos? Your classmate, Laura. Who's one of the greatest students in our class? Your classmate, Laura. Do you see a correlation? Okay, cool. And she says, I heard the high-pitched voice of an American man saying that 7 is the king number, el número rey, because there are lots of things that come in 7s. He's making a rhyme with the number 7 and some chipmunks. How many applauses can you get, Laura? We're going to have to start throwing flowers at you next. Okay, let's see. Excellent. Excellent job, Laura. So yeah, he sounds like he's making some kind of rhyme, maybe a nursery rhyme. Hey, diddle, diddle, the cat and the fiddle. You know, like one of these old school rhymes. Something about chipmunks. Let's talk about that. Chipmunks versus squirrels. I think you call them both ardillas here. Squirrels are gray. Chipmunks are Alvin y sus amigos. Those are the chipmunks. So tienen las rayitas, the stripes on their backs. So those are chipmunks, okay? Leonardo says, I think it's a clip from a movie. I think you're right, sir. In which an American character is arguing with some other person that the number 7 is the king number. And there's something about that guy that I don't like. I get you. And Leonardo, a great expression is, he rubs me the wrong way. Me frota de la forma equivocada. Me arrastra. So it's a great expression. To rub me the wrong way. You might know it from a song. I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. Gotta rub me the right way, honey. I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. Come on in, let me out. Christina Aguilera, guys. Okay, Aguilera, but we say Aguilera. Hey, you say Matthew McConaughey, we're even. Estamos en paz. So excellent. Wow, Leonardo. Okay, I'm just going to give you guys a little tweak here because I want to steer you in the right direction. And I'll tell you that the word is not king. La palabra que repite ahí is not king, rey. Okay? Hey, just leading you in the right direction. And what direction are we going in right now? We're going in the direction of today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
That's right, amigos. It's the spelling bee, only on the show with no name. And you're probably asking yourself, why did I just hear an airplane? For no apparent reason, except I felt like putting an airplane in there, okay? I like the sound of airplanes. It relaxes me. It's soothing. Vamos a pronunciar esta palabra, por favor. Soothing, relajante, tranquilizante. It reminds me of maybe, I don't know, a rainstorm. Isn't that nice? I mean, not when you're caught in it. You know, if you got to run, if you're like, oh no. Like the other day, I was at the supermarket with my daughter. We were shopping, doing our grocery shopping. Grocery is comestibles. And we were doing our grocery shopping, and it started to downpour, diluviar. You can say to pour or to downpour. And, well, we just decided to keep going up and down the escalator. It was fun. We were there for about an hour until the rain subsided. So, but rain, if you're not caught out in it, si no estás pillado en ello, well, it can be very soothing. I love the sound of rain trickling down the window and the drops hitting puddles. I mean, even the sound of thunder. I mean, that's relaxing in the right circumstances. All right. Also, Jay Lima wants to participate in our Say What soundbite. And Jay Lima says, I remember this from a comedy movie I watched a long time ago. One guy is arguing that 7 is the king number. Just be careful. It's not king. That's not the word. But it's funny that you all heard king. Okay, well, hey, at least we know now when somebody tries to solve it, the word is not king. One guy is arguing that 7 is the number, and he says 7 heavens, 7 doors, and then he started singing. Okay, Jay, great ear, but he doesn't say doors, and heavens, I don't think either. Yeah, he doesn't say 7 heavens either. So, guys, this is a tough one. Esta es difícil. But I've got to say, honestly, you guys have done a great job. Okay. But right now, it's time for today's Spelling Bee. Are you guys ready? As always, I'm going to spell some words for you now. I'm going to spell them twice. The sequence will go twice. The first time, I am an SOB. What is an SOB? Oh, I thought you'd never ask. A son of a bitch. Un cabrón. I'm going to be like, no me entiendes? It's your problem. Hay gente así, eh? I'm just saying, I've come across many people like that in my own language and in Spain and everywhere, unfortunately, in Charles de Gaulle Airport, surprisingly. Irony. So what was I getting at? I forgot what I was getting at. I'm going to spell these words for you. First time, SOB speed. Okay. Son of a bitch speed. And the second time, I'm going to be, I won't be such a POS. No voy a ser tan piece of shit. Hey, you got to know those acronyms too. Why not? Why not? It's not only OMG, FYI, and BTW. I hope you know BTW. It's a Chili Pepper song. Standing in line to see the show tonight, and there's a light on, a heavy glow. By the way, I tried to say I'd be there. All right, folks, it's time for round 1 of our Spelling Bee. The first word is, and these don't have to be capitalized. There's a clue in the background. The first one is BLUE space WHALE. The next one is FIN space WHALE. The next one is HUMPBACK. The next one is BOWHEAD. The next one is GRAY space WHALE. And the last one is SPERM. Whoa. If you got that, you are definitely playing in the big leagues there. And I gave you guys, I mean, in the background, I tried to give you a little clue. Do you need another clue? Let me give you another clue. Does this sound ring a bell to anybody? Anybody? All right, folks, it looks like we may have a winner here on our hands. Let's take a look. Whoa, it looks like we may have two winners on our hands. And yes, we do. Ladies and gentlemen, I am absolutely blown away by their speed. Please give it up for Born to Iron Man and Marta. This is when you would say, "Que fuerte." Get out of here. Wow. Excellent job, guys. Excellent job. Okay, now I'm going to be a nice guy. Me voy a portar bien, and I'm going to go through this list, in a very fair way. De una manera muy justa. Are you guys ready for round 2? Okay, here we go. The first one is BLUE space WHALE. The next one, ¿ves lo justo que voy aquí? I'm being very fair. The second one is FIN space WHALE. The next one is HUMPBACK. The next one is BOWHEAD. The fifth one is GRAY space WHALE. And the last one is SPERM. Okay, those are your words over there. I see a lot of people are starting to figure it out now. We've got also Maria Jose. It looks like Maria Jose, you got it on the first go as well. Well, guys, these are all kinds of whales. That's right. These are kinds of whales. And why did I choose whales? Well, why not? Whales are fascinating creatures, right? I mean, just their sheer size, some of them, like the first one, the blue whale, which I believe is the largest living animal. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's not the largest living organism, because the largest living organism, again, correct me if I'm wrong here, is the Great Barrier Reef, el arrecife de Australia the Great Barrier Reef. I believe that is the largest living organism, okay? But the largest living creature, that's one organism in and of itself, in sí mismo, is the blue whale. It's a very elusive animal for being such a big freaking animal. Well, think about where it lives, in a big ocean. So the reason I chose this is whales are fascinating, I believe. And there's a lot of controversy, which we could talk about as well with whaling. But the reason I'm bringing this up is perhaps, at least in the United States, what sparked, que desató, I think you say, what sparked our interest in whales was none other than an author named Herman Melville. And who was Herman Melville? Well, some people might recognize his book, Moby Dick. That's right, Moby Dick. So Herman Melville, a New Yorker, born and died in New York City, Herman Melville, and he wrote this novel. It was published today for the first time in the United States, and that was in the year 1851. And I imagine, he had a whale of a time writing it. No, he had a whale of a time writing it. I wonder if he asked his friend, the Prince of Wales, for some help. Okay, All right, let me explain. To have a whale of a time es pasarlo genial. But also the Prince of Wales, that's, well, right now it's Harry or who's the Prince of Wales? Que de hecho, I believe Donald Trump, there was a tweet that he said, I had a really successful meeting with the Prince of Wales. Y puso la H. Y no coge la H. It doesn't get an H if we're talking about the country. But I guess it's an honest mistake because they sound exactly the same, making them homophones, my amigos. And speaking of homophones, I think, why not? Why don't we take, well, you know what? We can't get into the homophones without finishing up our whales. So let's talk really quickly about the different kinds of whales. Now, these are some of the most common ones. Obviously, there are many. The number I have here, 90 species, 90 species of whales. And blue whales, as I said, the first in our group are thought to be, again, unless we see some mastodon or some, megalodon, right now, the largest animal to have ever lived on Earth, the blue whale. The next one that was on our list is the fin whale. And this is a very interesting word. The word fin is a word that we've seen. I think of dolphins too, aleta. It's the webbed part of the fish, a fin. Now, if it's on a boat has a fin too, right? Well, it's called estabilizador. But wait a second. What about a car? If there's uno atrás, un estabilizador, ¿cómo se llamaría? Un alerón. So, and then on an airplane, it would be called aleta o estabilizador. So if you think about it, it's so much more than just a piece of a fish or of a whale or a shark, but it's also something that we use when we're propelling something forward. Propulsionar, I think you say, when you're propelling something. And it's very important for the flow of the wind, or in this case, the water. Obviously, in the case of the airplane, it is the wind. All right. And the next one is the humpback whale. And this is a very interesting one because it's called a humpback whale. Why? Because it has a hump on its back. Great. Lovely. Excellent. But there's just one thing here. The Notre Dame guy, that famous character, the guy who lives in the bell tower, he's not called the humpback. So it's interesting. If we're talking about the whale, we're talking about a humpback whale. If we're talking about this character who lives in the bell tower, we're talking about the hunchback of Notre Dame, or Notre Dame, as we say in the United States. Guys, we've got to go to a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back with tons more. So stick around. And action. The show with no name is sponsored by Kinepolis. and action. The show with no name is sponsored by Kinepolis. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. All aboard for the second half. I can't believe it. Come on in, folks. We've got so much to do here on the show. I hope you guys are having fun and learning English as well. And if that's what you're doing, then awesome sauce. Yeah, eso es algo que se dice recientemente en mi país. Awesome sauce. Chachi piruli guay might be the translation. But folks, it's time for, I wouldn't say the trickiest section. I think the trickiest sections, los más difíciles, are the spelling bee and say what. But this one causes quite a bit of confusion. I think you know which section I'm talking about. It's homophones.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. 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 Show with no name. Show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. That's right. It's homophones only on the show with no name. And here's where we look at words that may or may not sound the same. It's up to you to tell me. And I will, by just clearly saying the words as clear as I can, will let you guys be the judge. Vais a decidir vosotros al final si suenan igual o no. So the first word, and remember, I want you to give me both words, and then I want you to tell me if they sound exactly the same or not. The first word is a mournful cry. I'm going to tell you in English first. Mournful. Well, if you're in mourning, estás de luto. So a mournful, right? Gemido, llanto, lamento, it says here in Spanish, okay? Also, I don't see it here listed like this, but it also means to play a guitar like it's going out of style, como si no hubiera mañana. So it kind of makes sense, because what does that gemido, llanto, lamento sound for? What does an electric guitar sound like when you play like a sick lick? Sick, enfermo? Sick es guay. Super chulo. So when you play a sick lick, it sounds like that. Gemido, llanto. It says here, a mournful cry, and to cry mournfully. So it's the verb and the noun. And the second word we just looked at. The second word is ballena. Yeah. If you weren't paying attention, it's not my fault. So what are those two words? So if you said la ballena empezó a gemir, would the word ballena and gemir sound the same in that sentence? And we'll take a look at it in just a moment. We need to listen to our Say What soundbite for the third time. Grab your pens, folks, and write down what you hear.
Seven's the key number here. Think about it. Right. Seven 11s, yeah. 7 dwarfs. 7, man, that's the number. 7 chipmunks twirling on a branch, eating lots of sunflowers on my uncle's ranch. You know that old children's tale from the sea?
All right. Somebody said, I think Leonardo said that it's from a movie. I can tell you this right now. It's one of my favorite movies ever. Oh, so now we're not just going to test your listening here. We're going to see A, how well you know movies, and B, how well you know me, your English teacher. All right. Let's see how well or not you guys did on today's homophones. As I said, the first word is gemido or gemir. As I said, look, and another way, listen, some of you can say, well, listen, I don't know Spanish. Well, another way to say it is groan, shriek, lament, moan, howl, to sob. I mean, these are a lot of different ways to say it. And I'll tell you what, if you're fans of Bob Marley, his group was called Los Gemidores, los que van gemiendo. Ooh, that's a difficult word to conjugate for us Geedies, I have to be honest. All right, let's see what you guys came up with. Laura, the two words are and they are homophones. You seem pretty sure of yourself, Laura. All right, let's see. Anybody else? Salvador says, Laura, awesome. So I guess you agree with her? Or maybe you're saying awesome for something else. So maybe I'm going to take that as if, see why, guys, it's important to always give me a little context, because awesome. We know Laura's awesome, definitely. But I don't know if you're saying awesome. I second the motion, right? You can be creative, right? Isn't that what we're trying to do here? So, awesome is good. All right, but that's not telling me very much there. Let's see. Salvador says, yes. Te falta coma y punto. Okay, all right. Well, te da igual. It's all right. Yes, I agree with Laura. Okay, great. So 2 people, and you both agree. All right. Very simple way to solve this here. I'm going to say both words, and you tell me if they sound the same. The first word is whale. Whale. Say it with me. Whale. Bob Marley and the Wailers. Wailers. Interesting word. Wailers. So technically, if the words sound the same, entonces uno que caza tiburones sonaría como el grupo de Bob Marley. Okay, let's try and say that together. Bob Marley's Wailers were not whalers. No cazaban las ballenas. So, quitando el ers del final ahora, let's listen. I think I gave you a sentence before. ¿Cómo era? Okay, the whale started to wail. The whale started to wail. Do they sound the same? Absolutely. Great job. Great job. Also, we got Jay Lima and Maria Jose, who figured it out as well. You guys both agreed with Laura. Jay Lima says the words are homophones, and I'm all in. Nice. Yo apuesto todo. I'm all in. ¿Ves lo que digo con ser creativo? Because, it's good. You can say cool, or you can say I'm all in, because what Jay Lima has just done is said, I'm not only going to tell you if I agree, right? But I'm also going to tell you in my best English. So Jay Lima, thanks for getting what we're doing here. I really appreciate that. All right, let's take a look. We need to finish up our spelling bee very quickly. We had a couple more whales we were looking at. We said the humpback, which not to be confused with the hunchback. The next one on our list is the bowhead. Now, I don't know much about sharks, but just listening to the name of this shark, bowhead, a shark, excuse me, not sharks, whales. See, I'm confusing them here. A bowhead whale. Well, a bow can be 2 things, okay, that I'm maybe a couple more, but I'm thinking right now, un aro, right? And a bow es un aro que pones en español es la misma palabra. Are you kidding me? En serio? I never thought about that. So a bow is something you put on top of a present. And also a bow is something that you fire an arrow with. You also have a bow to play a violin, ahora que lo pienso. A bow tie es una pajarita. Ahora, mirando la cabeza de este animal, it looks like a bow, like the ones that you use in a bow and arrow. In archery, I forget how you say that. Eso es tiro con arco, archery. So I love when the names of animals, hammerhead shark, you're like, why? Do you need me to explain it to you? Or is it explanatory? Excuse me. So the bowhead shark. The next one is the gray shark. ¿Por qué le sigo diciendo shark? You know why? I'll tell you why. I know now, because there's an FYI episode on sharks. And you know what? There isn't an FYI episode on whales yet. So I'll have to change that. So the next one is a gray whale. And a quick question for you guys here. What is the difference between gray when it's GRAY versus GREY? Simple. Gray, AY is American. EY is how the British spell it. Ahí lo tienes. The thing is, they're pronounced exactly the same. So a gray whale, it's this one with the gray and white spots. I mean, I'm sure if you guys look at these whales, they're all ones that you have, maybe not seen in person, but they are whales that are definitely recognizable to many people. And the last one is the sperm whale. And cachalote, we call it el de sperma. Yeah, that's right. The sperm whale. And I forget why. Let me see. Let's ask Google this. Why is it called a sperm whale? De sperma. Okay. Why is it called the sperm whale? They are named. I remember looking this up. They are named after the waxy substance, spermaceti, that is found in their heads. It's like this oil sac of sorts, and it's used in lamps, or was used in lamps, antorchas, lámparas, así con gas, lubricants, and candles. Okay, lubricantes y velas. So there you go, folks. Whales. I hope you had a whale of a time talking about whales. But folks, it's time to move on to Name That Movie. Name That Movie. That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie, only on the show with no name. And as always, I'm going to give you a trailer and I'm going to give you a scene from a movie. If you care to guess what movie it is, feel free. Here it is, folks. Here is your trailer. We'll learn tons of English from this, whether you guess it or not. The key is to learn English. Don't get upset if you can't keep up or if you can't participate in all the different sections, as long as you're getting the important stuff, the juicy stuff, the meaty stuff. Decimos lo mismo, la carne, el jugo, right? Okay, so when his uptight CEO sister threatens to shut down his branch, the branch manager throws an epic Christmas party in order to land a big client and save the day. But the party gets way out of hand. Wow. Sounds like my kind of movie. A mí me encanta ese tipo de película. So, when his uptight, and somebody who's uptight is never really relaxed. Like it's a person who just can't just breathe. Tieso, embarado, apretado en México, estirado. Okay? When I see people who are uptight, I avoid them like the plague, because that's contagious, guys. You see people are just like, they look like they're going to explode. Just walk away, because they might. So uptight. When his uptight CEO sister. Now, this is an interesting word because you use it in Spanish. You say feo, but we don't say feo. We say CEO. We don't even say CO. We say CEO, right? And the chief financial officer, CFO, okay? The CIO, chief information, right? I don't even know how many chiefs there are. Too many, in my opinion, right? So when his uptight CEO sister threatens, amenaza, okay? So a threat is una amenaza. El verbo es, a ver si me sale, amenazar. Siempre lo mezclo con amanecer. It's a tough one for me. Pero me ha salido, ¿eh? Ojo, me ha costado, pero me ha salido. So she threatens to shut down, chapar, cerrar para siempre, to shutter, lo vimos ayer, his branch, su sucursal. The branch manager, el jefe de ese sucursal, throws an epic Christmas party. And to throw a party, I've heard a lot of Spanish people say, I'm going to make a party. Voy a hacer una fiesta. We say I'm going to have a party, tener, or I'm going to throw a party would be much more. You can say I'm going to do a party for my sisters, but it would just be, I'm throwing a party. It would just be much more common. So the branch manager throws an epic Christmas party in order to, buena estructura aquí, con el fin de, to land. And to land is aterrizar, sí. But to land is cerrar un cliente grande. To land a big client and save the day, salvar el día. But the party gets way out of hand. And that's when the movie gets really good. And the movie is Office Christmas Party. Give it up for Jay Lima. Nice job, Jay Lima. Office Christmas Party. That's right, amigos. It's awesome. If you haven't seen this movie, it's the kind of movie you can watch every Christmas. Well, if you like these kind of movies, for me, I like to watch movies where I don't have to think too much. Why? Because my job, I don't work, I work with my hands. I'm editing, I'm working with my hands a lot. But my job requires me to think. So sometimes when I watch a movie or a series, the last thing I want to do is think. I just want to be entertained by mindless entertainment. And I understand it and I love it. That's why when it's Game of Thrones, I get it, guys. I get it. Lo pillo, but you guys enjoy it. Enjoy all that stuff. I like the goofy, silly, mindless. If it were up to me, si tuviera mi, si yo saliera con la mía, if I got my way, we would go back to making 80s style movies, where nobody took themselves too seriously. It wasn't like this is a masterpiece of it. It's like, just make a fucking movie. And if we can sit through it, that's great. Si puedes aguantar el tiempo que dure, que son 3 horas hoy en día. But I still love, as you know, guys, I love going to the movies. I go to Kinépolis all the time, just not too far from my house. And always got all the movies I want to see in English because I am not. And believe me, props, right? Props es, le doy mucho crédito, mucho mérito. Props to all of you guys who are out there doing voiceover work. I know a lot of voice actors who are tremendous, but I got to watch it in English. That's my thing. Doesn't take away from their work. They do a wonderful job, but it would be like you watching Torrente in English. You get it? I think everybody just said, what? Can you imagine? Vamos a hacernos unas pajillas. Let's have some wanks or whatever. No me mires a mí. No son mis frases. Don't shoot the messenger. But Torrente, in my opinion, is the other extreme. It's like too far. But I bring back Police Academy. Loca Academia de Policía. Bring back those kind of movies. All right. So this movie came out in 2016. As I said, it's called Office Christmas Party. Remember, another way to say Christmas is Xmas, if you want to be, but it's got to be capitalized. Esa X tiene que ser mayúscula, porque Christmas viene de Cristo, so it's capitalized as well in English. And this movie stars Jason Bateman. I'm a big fan. Jason Bateman. Also, some of my favorite SNL cast members. SNL? Yes, Saturday Night Live. Well, the former, in fact, I don't think either one is on the show now. But Kate McKinnon, she's awesome. You'll know who she is. Búscala, Kate McKinnon. And Vanessa Bayer, another one on Saturday. I think they were 2 of the funniest people maybe to come out of the last 10 years. And they're in this movie as well. And it's just great. Jennifer Aniston, She plays the uptight CEO sister. And Jason Bateman plays her brother, the guy who's just kind of like, oh, let's just throw a party and make some, you know. And they've been in many movies together. They starred in The Breakup. The Breakup es cuando corta una pareja. The Switch, El Cambio o El Intercambio. Also, Horrible Bosses. Cuidado con la pronunciación, no es horrible. Horrible, horrible. Horrible Bosses. And of course, you're going to come back and do Horrible Bosses 2. So let's take a look at this scene over here. Nate says to the girls, Tim and Drew are trying to seduce. O sea, dice a las chicas que Tim y Drew están intentando seducir. To seduce is the word. Seduction is the noun. And he says, they're full of shit, okay? Están llenos de mierda. Que están con estreñimiento. No, son mentirosos. No hay que creer ni una palabra. They're full of shit, okay? They're full of shit. And then he says, they're not your soulmates. No son tus medias naranjas. They just hacked your Facebook. Hackear. Yo no sé si tenéis una palabra española para eso, pero decís hackear. To hack es cortar algo en trozos. So, piénsalo, están cogiendo tu programa y to hack something. So they just hacked your Facebook. And then Tim says to the girls, oh, that's horse shit. And horse shit, full of shit, bullshit, is chorradas, right? Mentiras. That's what they're saying. And Drew says, unbelievable. Hey, that was one of our things that we looked at in the pop quiz. My mother's favorite. Unbelievable, Alberto. Unbelievable. 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 Lo extiende como 30 minutos. Unbelievable. So uncool. So if something is cool, eso es chévere. Es, no? If something is uncool, man, you just pushed him. Le acabas de empujar. That was uncool. No, fuera de todo. No era aceptable. That's what I would say. That's cool, man. That's acceptable. Ese es otro uso de este cool. Hey, man, is it cool if I smoke here? ¿Es aceptable? ¿Es permitido? Yeah, you can have a cigarette. Go ahead. Open the window, please. Right? Oh, no, man. That's uncool. That's not cool. Significa que no, por favor, no. I don't want that here. So that's so uncool. And as the girls get up to leave, he says, hey, wait. And Drew says, no, girls. They're desperate, obviously. And Wendy turns to Tim and Drew and says, I knew you didn't like the Gilmore Girls. O sea, sabía que me estabas mintiendo, que no eras fan de los Gilmore Girls, que era un programa muy, muy famoso. And the girls leave. This is a verb that I don't know why, but my students hate using it. To leave, marcharse. They say, and believe me, I've heard everybody try and get around it, evitarlo. I go out from the office. I'm like, why? Would you say? It's just such a weird. I leave the office. I left my office. I left home this morning at 12. I left whatever. Leave. That's the one, de marcharse. So I know a lot of people. I go out to, no. El de marcharse, irse, de cada día, de cada sitio is to leave. And it's irregular. It's leave, left. So the girls leave. And Nate says to Tim and Drew this time, okay, I'm going to need both of you ass clowns. And an ass clown, un payaso del culo, te lo tengo que traducir, no es algo positivo, es capullo. Right? If somebody calls you an ass clown, that's not good. You can imagine, even without knowing the definition, un payaso del culo. Creo que quizá la traducción sería tonto del culo, ¿no? Piénsalo. Oh, this guy's an ass clown. Esto es un tonto del culo. Hey, mira, traducción perfecta. So I'm going to need both of you ass clowns to hack into Clay's phone, el móvil de Clay, so we can find him. Okay? And Tim says, come on. Why would we help you, dude? Venga, tío, ¿por qué te vamos a ayudar? ¿Por qué te ayudaríamos a ti? Seriously, en serio. And Drew says, yeah, why would we help you? Because he just chased the girl. He told the girls that they were full of shit, que eran unos mentirosos, estaban hablando milongas. And Nate grabs Tim by the collar, el cuello. We say collar. Bueno, escribimos collar, pero se pronuncia collar. Le coge del cuello, the collar, and says, because I'm your fucking boss. And I'm telling you to. So there's the threat, la amenaza. And Drew turns to Mary and says, he can't touch him. No le puede tocar, no le puede hacer daño. And Mary says, I'll allow it. Como diciendo, as we said, Mary is the character that's uptight. So she wants to do everything by the book, a pie de la letra, siguiendo las reglas, acatando. Pero aquí dice, sí, amenázale, que es un capullo. He's an ass. So she's giving permission to something that you wouldn't think she was giving permission to. And by the way, guys, I put together a little list of some of my favorite Christmas movies. I'm not going to share them yet, but I'm getting ready because we've got my birthday coming up. We've got Thanksgiving right after that. And then we're officially in the final stretch, en la recta final. And speaking of the final stretch, we're in the final stretch of today's show with no name. We're off to our final commercial break, my amigos. We'll be back in 2 minutes with the last part of today's show, so stick around. And action. The show with no name is sponsored by Kinepolis. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Don't forget, up next, we've got Jules Linares and her program, Let's Get Random. And after that, you got Rob and Andy and the Lunchtime Show. Don't forget, Rob, Andy, and Nacho will be hosting our next trivia night on November 30th at 8:30 p.m. at Roll Madrid. Don't miss it. Tons of fun, and it's free. The perfect place to practice your English and make some friends. Yeah. All right, amigos, let's get back into things because you guys know how fast time flies here on the show with no name. So let's kick off with a section where we look at a twisted translation. Retorcido. It's double trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. It's Double Trouble only on the show with no name. And I think this one's going to be easy. In fact, I expect everybody to get this one. Why? Well, you have a similar expression in both cases. En ambos casos aquí, en ambas partes de la frase, tenéis una expresión casi igual, parecida. So let's see, we're going to test your knowledge of idiomatic expressions today, because today we've got two. Sometimes I just put one in there. Today you got two idiomatic expressions. Let's see. This is reserved exclusively for Show with No Name superstars. Perro ladrador, poco mordedor. Pero no deberías morder la mano que te da de comer. Now, morder, mordedor, pero en inglés, no. Similar, but maybe it's the same word. I'll leave it in your hands. O sabes expresar estas dos cosas o no. All right, so perro ladrador, poco mordedor. Pero no deberías morder la mano que te da de comer. That is today's double trouble. You have to use the same word twice. Good luck, guys. Hopefully, a few people will get it. If not, I'll give it to you in just a moment. But first, I owe you guys, os debo, the fourth and final listen of today's very tricky Say What soundbite. Here it is, folks, for the fourth time. Please write down what you hear.
Seven's the key number here. Think about it.
Right.
7
Seven,
11s,
yeah.
7 dwarfs. 7, man, that's the number. 7 chipmunks twirling on a branch, eating lots of sunflowers on my uncle's ranch. You know that old children's tale from the sea?
All right, folks, there you go. All I have to say is listening to this audio clip is really making me want to see this movie again. And I think I've seen this movie like 100 times, at least. There was a point in my life, I was probably in the early 2000s, late 90s, where I knew every single word in this movie, every single nuance in this movie. Now, I haven't seen it in a long time, but this is making me want to see it again. Speaking of movies that I think have affected us in a positive way, all of us, Jay Lima says, my favorite Christmas movie is Gremlins. It's a guilty pleasure. Sure, that's a Christmas movie. Of course it is. A lot of people argue that, like, it's not a Christmas movie. It's like, yes, it is. It takes place at Christmas, and they're shopping for Christmas trees, and there's the whole Christmas vibe. Yes, it is. So is Die Hard. No? You call it jungla de cristal. Sorry, I can't say that seriously. So yeah, Gremlins. It's a great flick. Great. My favorite. Now, this is, again, the one we're looking at in our Say What soundbite is not a Christmas movie, but we're starting to get into the Christmas vibe. Another one I love is Christmas Vacation with Chevy Chase. It's a classic. One that I told you we've been watching with my daughter a lot, and it's a classic. My mother used to watch it with my grandma when they were little, when my mom was little. And that's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose, with Burl Ives. And my daughter loves those. She loves those songs already. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very, and then she loves Frosty the Snowman was a jolly happy soul. All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves, because it's not Christmas yet, and it's not time for Name That Lyric. But I can guarantee if you put on these classic claymation is con animación con, what do you call it? Arcilla, you call it clay? And this is a classic. And once the kids and adults start hearing it, you start singing along. And these are classics. Every Christmas you'll hear them, just like I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. For those of you who are sick of Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas is You. Now, you know what? I'm sick of it already. And you're like, Alberto, but they haven't even started playing it yet. on the radios, in every shop or store you go into. No, but I will remind you, maybe some of you remember when the show was going on in the summer, my daughter's been playing Christmas carols since August. And that was one of them. So we've been, guys, some people say that, people who celebrate the holidays prematurely. I can attest to that. We definitely do. All right, let's take a look at today's double trouble over here. The first person to take a stab at it is our amiga Laura. And she says, okay, vamos a ponerlo otra vez aquí en español, just so everybody can participate if you'd like to. Perro ladrador, poco mordedor. Pero no deberías morder la mano que te da de comer. Okay, and of course, we got to get our dog in there. Laura says his bark, su ladrido, which we just heard, his bark is worse than his bite. But you shouldn't bite the hand that feeds you. Does that sound correct to you guys? It sounds 100% correct to me. That's right. His bark is worse than his bite. O sea, es parecido la idea. Su ladrido es peor que su mordida, right? So his bark, dog's bark, is worse than, not worst, because remember, fijaos, vamos a parar aquí un segundo, muy importante. Tengo muchos alumnos que se lían con worse than, comparativo, y the worst. Acuérdate, si va con el than, va con sin T. Esto es una buena forma de acordarte. La T va con el than, worse than. Hey, no sé. Y el otro, the worst. Necesitas T para empezar y T para acabar. I don't know. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe it won't. So his bark is worse than his bite. But you shouldn't bite the hand that feeds you. Excellent job, Laura. And also, if you wanted to, just to let you guys know, if you wanted to, you could omit that you at the end. Don't bite the hand that feeds, right? You can. It's perfectly correct with or without you. Don't, porque se dice en general, don't bite the hand that feeds, right? We've got a lot of expressions with bite, right? His bark is worse than his bite, as we just said. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. To bite the bullet, aceptar algo que es muy difícil. I think hacer de tripas corazón, you say in Spanish. To bite the bullet. Hasta la palabra bite, que no es morder. This bites. ¿Qué significa eso? Si yo te digo, oh man, this bites. This really bites. Es lo mismo que decir, this sucks. Hay una película que lo hablamos ayer, creo. Reality Bites. Vete a saber cómo lo traducen, but la realidad es una mierda. It bites. And I just thought of, to bite off more than you can chew. Esta me encanta enseñar. ¿Por qué? Es que queda clarísimo al explicarlo. He bit off, acuérdate, bite, bitten. He bit off more than he could chew. Él mordió más de lo que podía masticar. Hola, se pasó, abarcó demasiado a la vez, ¿no? Too much. It was too much for them. It was overwhelming. All right, so excellent job, Laura. And not just on our double trouble, but Laura has also figured out our very tricky Say What soundbite. Laura, wow. And it looks right. It looks absolutely right. Wow. Impressive stuff. But guys, we've got to move on to You're Joking.
Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking.
That's right, amigos. That's right. You're joking, only on the show with no name. And wow. Yeah, Laura. Wow. Excellent. You got that word too. By the way, that missing word was not king, it was key. So he didn't say 7 is the king numbers, 7 is the key number, clave, como es la misma palabra que llave, right? Key. Just be careful. I've heard students say K. No, it's key, como K y latina. Si lo ves en tu cabeza, has escrito así. So awesome job to Laura and to all of you today. You've been doing a kick-ass job. Let's take a look at today's joke and see if you guys get it. If you get it, explain it to us. What do you call quiet little pooches? What do you call? Muchos chistes empiezan así. Quiet. Ojo con este false friend. Quiet is not quieto. Okay? Quieto is still. Stay still. State quieto. Stay still. Be quiet is cállate. So just be careful. Quiet aquí, silencioso. No, que no se mueve. So what do you call quiet little pooches? And what is a pooch? If you don't know what a pooch is, it means you weren't listening to the FYI episode on dogs. Yeah, pooch is another way to say a dog. Perrete. I think the translation would be, oh, what a cute little pooch. Vaya perrete más lindo, right? So what do you call, now that we've got all our words figured out, what do you call quiet little pooches? We call them hush puppies. Hush puppies? Oh, yeah. No. A little dog that's quiet, hush puppy. A hush puppy. Oh, man. So let's see. Oh, Laura's giving credit where credit is due, como se dice en inglés. To give credit where credit is due is hay que dar el mérito donde se debe. And she said Jay helped her find the word key because she thought it was king. So see, you can say that you kind of solved it together. Even though Laura was the one who got it, you gave her a clue along the way. That's what I call teamwork. Trabajo en equipo. All right, so who can explain this to me? Who can explain the hush puppy thing? I mean, it doesn't make very much sense. A small dog that's quiet. Okay, well, I guess a puppy is a small dog. A baby dog is called a puppy. And hush, well, to hush means callarse. Okay? Callarse. So es callarse, cachorro, hush puppy? Sí, técnicamente, literalmente, pero tiene que tener otro sentido, ¿no? Hush puppy. Okay, porque si yo le digo, hush puppy, cállate perrito, cachorrito, hush puppy, right? Let's see, Laura's taking a stab at it. Laura says, hush means be quiet, and a husky puppy. No, but I like it, Laura. I like the way you're thinking. Husky es grande, fornido, I think you say. I've always been called husky. I've never been built like a skinny guy, So I'm my build, mi constitución, I think you say. My build is husky. But nope. All right. Well, I guess you should know that hush puppies have actually two meanings in the United States that are not calla cachorros. The first one, and the first one that came to mind for me, is a brand of shoes. Hay una marca de zapatos que se llama Hush Puppies. They've been around for as long as I can remember. And there's an interesting story. If you want to hear the story of hush puppies, there's a book by Malcolm Gladwell called The Tipping Point. Es buenísimo. Lo recomiendo a todo el mundo. And they talk about how hush puppies were about to go bankrupt, this company of shoes. They were about to go bankrupt. And in the end, some hipsters in New York started wearing hush puppies. And it blew up. O sea, este libro, The Tipping Point, habla de cómo algo se hace viral. And one of the stories it tells is Sesame Street, el barrio Sésamo, que tuvimos un capítulo de FYI, and the story of Hush Puppy Shoes. Okay, so we got one meaning, but there's another one. Also, a hush puppy. This is something that's more common, I guess, in the south of the United States. A hush puppy is a deep fried dough ball. Sounds yummy, huh? O sea, una bola de masa con maíz refrito en aceite. Búscalo en internet, but hush puppy food. Digo food porque a lo mejor te va a poner zapatillas si buscas hush puppies. So pon hush puppy. It's bola de pan de maíz. They're actually pretty good. As I said, they're more common in the south of the United States. So there you go, folks. But now it's time to move on to another section called Famous Birthday Trivia.
Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Famous birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. Famous birthdays only on the show with no name, and I can't believe it. We've got about 6-7 minutes left, so let's make it happen here. Let's see if you know who today's famous birthday boys and girls are. The first person was born in 1975. His last name is Ladrador. Well, you know how to say ladrar, so ponle ER. All right, what else can I tell you about the guy? He's the drummer of Blink 182. Blink 182, you say in Spanish? Blink 182, the rock band that was really huge, reminds me of the 90s. Interesting. It reminds me of the time when today's Say What soundbite came out. That same time of that movie that I'm talking about. And recently, Blink 182, this band from the 90s, has said that they're going on a reunion tour. And I remember it causing quite a stir, revelo, and internet. So this is the drummer here. The next one, she was born in 1981. She was a cast member, parte del reparto, in Saturday Night Live from 2010 to 2017. She was in many, many movies as well, such as Trainwreck, which is if somebody's a train wreck, son un desastre de persona. Oh man, you're a train wreck. Office Christmas Party, which was today's name that movie. Ibiza, or they say Ibiza, which is a great movie too. If you haven't seen that, you guys can see my sense of humor, right? Okay. Very, very sophomoric, very basic. But I think she's just funny. This woman, just her facial expressions make me laugh. And last but not least, this guy was born in 1962, a Canadian-American actor and screenwriter. He's been in many movies. He's actually the creator of a children's series, which is called Puppy Dog Pals. Wow. Puppy Dog Pals. O sea, amigos de cachorros. We just looked at the word puppies. Hush puppies. Que no era aposta, eh? Also, Sausage Party. And where I discovered his work, he played the hitchhiker in There's Something About Mary. Hizo del que hace autostop, the hitchhiker in Something About Mary. Those are your famous birthdays. I'll give you a second or two. If not, we've got to check it out here because we've got to move on. Excuse me. Number one, Travis Barker. That's right. Travis Barker from Blink 182. He's the drummer. Number two, Vanessa Bayer. Buenísima. Me parto con esta tía solo al verle la cara. She is hysterical. And last but not least, Harland Williams. He was in Dumb and Dumber, Dos Tontos Muy Tontos. He was also in Something About Mary as the hitchhiker. And that was the movie I was talking about. Oh, man, I love that movie. Algo pasa con Mary. ¿Lo llamáis? And this is where he picks up a hitchhiker and he realizes the guy's crazy. And he's telling him about an idea They have something called 8-minute abs in the United States. Abdominales en 8 minutos. Y él dice, yo tengo una idea que lo va a revolucionar. 7 minutos. Lo hacemos, pero en 7 minutos. I don't know how they translated it. We're going to do the same thing, but in 7 minutes, man. And thus Ben Stiller's character says, yeah, but what if somebody comes up with 6-minute abs? And the guy, like, his brain fries. He's like, no, what do you mean 6? What do you mean 6, man? 7. 7's the number. 7's the key number. And so he goes, 7's the key number here, man. Think about it. 7-11s. Los 7-11s. 7 dwarfs. 7 dwarfs, los 7 enanitos. 7, man. That's the number. 7 chipmunks twirling on a branch. 7 ardillas dando vueltas en un ramo. Eating lots of sunflowers, comiendo muchas pipas, sunflower seeds. Eating lots of sunflowers on my uncle's ranch. En el rancho de mi tío. Ahora, esa canción la conoce nadie. So that's the funniest part of that. Like, nobody, that's not a song I've ever heard. He goes, you know that old children's tale from the sea? Tú sabes ese viejo cuento de niños del mar? Which, and that's when Ben Stiller's character is like, I got to get out of here right now. And he pulls over. And I don't want to tell you what happens, but here it is, folks. Our birthday boy, Harland Williams, in the movie, as I said, one of my favorite movies, Something About Mary.
7's the key number here. Think about it. 7's 11s?
Yeah.
7 dwarfs? 7, man, that's the number. 7 chipmunks twirling on a branch, eating lots of sunflowers on my uncle's ranch. You know that old children's tale from the sea?
All right, there you go, folks. And it's time for Name That Lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is. No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Name That Lyric only on the show with no name. And wow, I can't believe how fast today's show has flown by. Thank you to all of you for tuning in, for participating. Remember, after today's show, right now, you've got an amazing program by Jules. Jules Linares is her name, and the program is called Back to Basics. No, eso es Tash Pasqua. But you got that later on, too. Back to Basics with Tash Pasqua. But up next, you got Let's Get Random with Jules. And remember, a great way to warm up for this show is by tuning in to my friend Fitz's show, which is called No Excuses. All right, so my amigos, thank you again for being here, for your energy, for your effort, for teaching me things as well. I'm not the only one teaching here. You guys teach me things as well. So here's the song. I'll give it to you because we don't have too much time. It's Adam's Song by Blink 182. Okay, Adam's Song by Blink 182. And it goes, I never thought I'd die alone. Nunca pensé que moriría solo. I laughed the loudest, who would have known? Me reí el más alto. ¿Quién lo hubiese dicho? ¿Quién lo hubiese sabido? So that's interesting. He who laughs last laughs the loudest. Eso es un trabalenguas. Acabamos con eso. El que se ríe último ríe más alto. This is Blink 182, and the song is just awesome. It's called Adam's Song. Do-do-do, do-do-do. Sing it with me, folks. Woo! Never thought I'd die alone. What a voice. I never thought I'd die alone. I laughed the loudest, who would have known. Ciao.